Hey guys, this is Anooj from Prepped and Polished, and today I'm going to give you 3 simple tips on how I got a 5 on the AP Chemistry exam. Tip number 1, your class. The AP Chemistry class is really hard, I know. There's a lot of material you got to go through, but you want to make sure that you complete every homework assignment. Read the entire section that's assigned for that day and go through all the problems that are assigned and try to get as much feedback as possible of how you understand that concept. The reason why I say you want to focus on the class a lot is because you want to get all the concepts of the AP Chemistry material down pretty bad during the class, so that when you're starting the review for the exam 2 to 3 weeks before it, you're just focusing on reviewing. You don't want to be learning concepts or new things for the first time. That can be very time consuming, and it can also hurt your confidence and give you more anxiety. You want to be able to have all the concepts done before then. So 2 to 3 weeks before the exam, make sure that you've gone through your coursework and you've completed every single concept or read every textbook section that you needed to do. Tip number 2. Get a reactions notebook. What you need to do with the reactions notebook is get just any plain notebook that you have, and every time in class or during your review that you see a reaction, write that reaction down in the notebook. The AP exam tests reactions on pretty much every section. Even in one section you have to predict the products and reactants and balance the reaction. And sometimes they don't really follow into the guidelines or the patterns that you see in your prep books. And for those particular situations, having these reactions constantly written down while you're writing them down and writing your own notes next to those reactions, you're going to start developing an intuition, and you start seeing the patterns in reactions, so that on test day when you see a reaction, it's not going to give you any anxiety. You're just going to go and just write down the product, write down the reactant, and you're going to know it. Tip number 3, past AP exams. Now, go onto the College Board exam website and look for the past AP exams. You can start at the later ones, go through the old ones, or start the older ones, however you want to do it. But go to the free response questions and start solving problems out as completely as possible. You don't want to look at the problem and pretend that you actually know how to do it. You don't want to guess, oh, well, you know, I'd do that and then I'd balance that and, you know, I'd use this equation to solve it. You want to go through the entire problem with a pencil, write it down, and come up with an answer. This is going to prevent you from tricking yourself into thinking that you know how to do it, and there's always a little twist or a little, you know, something going on in that problem that you didn't foresee while you're just looking at it. But when you go and try to solve it out, you're going to get that practice. You're going to be doing that math, the calculation, plugging in your calculator. You're going to get all of that little practice, all the stuff that you'd be doing on test day when you solve those problems. Go through as many exams as possible. And every time you come up with a concept, or, you know, you get some trouble that you're just having trouble with, maybe it's equilibrium or a certain lab technique or a titration, you really want to go in your prep book and start reviewing that specific aspect and solve more problems just like that. For concepts that you're feeling pretty confident on, just do maybe 1 or 2 problems just to make sure that you know them, and really just go through as many exams as possible and solve out as many problems as you can. And there you have it, the 3 simple tips on how to get a 5 on the AP Chem exam. Tip number 1, make sure you spend a lot of time in class getting the concepts down. That way you're not spending review time learning new things. Tip number 2, build your own reactions notebook. Every reaction you see during class review time, just jot it down. Tip number 3, go through as many past AP exams as possible and solve out all problems as best as you can and figure out your weaknesses. For more information, visit preppedandpolished.com.